Welcome everybody, this is Brothermutant here. Today I'm going to show you a very quick video. This is actually for the Elusive Mind Accolade. I'm not going to actually be able to show you how to get it, sadly. I'll tell you how to do it, and I'll do a separate video, again, detailing this later. It requires a couple things. One, the Rikti raid, because all three badges you need all show up from the Rikti raid. One of which, and let's just go through the list, one of which is called Bomb Specialist Badge. You would have to kill 25 Rikti bombs. If you go to a specific area, wherever the Rikti are invading, usually in Vidiot maps, you'll see that they have paths on them. The paths are usually for when specific events take place, and they usually tell you zone event, Rikti Invasion, right here. So this is where the ships fly through and drop bombs if it was to be in PI. This last attack actually occurred in King's Row. There's a way to spark the invasion too. Extremely useful, which is how I did it. I just wasn't thinking about the fact that, oh, there's a raid going on, I can get all the badges that I need without recording, sadly. So that's why you're not going to get that. But the badges, again, 25 Rikti bombs, that's the very first thing. It's better to do that part on a team. So if you're doing the mission where you spark, it's a task force where you literally spark the invasion in the first place, if everyone's willing to stay around and do the invasion like my team just did, like 5 of us anyway, it's easy to get the badge because everyone on the team, everyone in the zone, anyone that kills a bomb, we all get credit. So I needed 25. I didn't need 25 because I already had like 13 from earlier. I just got onto the tail end of the bombing the first time I did this. Totally forgot that I needed X number of them, and I was trying to kill the bombs by myself because I could, but I wasn't very quick at it, so I didn't get the 25. So this is also going to be something that could be an issue with you guys. If you don't have a high DPS toon, trying to solo it's going to be an uber pain in the butt. You can do it, it's just going to take you 2 or 3 raids before you actually get all those bombs. Plus, you never know when these things are going to pop up. If you're not the one sparking the event in the first place, it's random as all hell. So if you just see it show up in your zone events, oh, Rikti raid, and everyone just runs over there, you may not catch the bombs fast enough. You may get the tail end of it and only get a few. So that's a thing. After the bombs stop dropping, the next thing that happens is they go to a specific area and the Rikti start teleporting in, and that's your chance to kill up to 100 Rikti. That's the Sentry badge, killing 100 Rikti, and again, it has to be during this event. Can't be just Rikti in general, it doesn't count. Chief badge is the third and final one you need, and it's defeat 10 Rikti heavy assault suits. Those are pretty obvious. They port in 2 with the Rikti. Not very many, but again, enough that you can get that in with one raid if you're on a team and everybody's shooting, and you'll damage enough of them that you'll probably get your 10, or at least real close to it. And they look like big mega floating, it's really kind of hard to explain what they even look like. They got like big huge headlights, or eyes, or whatever you want to call them. They float in the air. They're very large. It's pretty obvious when they show up that it's, you know, it's part of the Rikti raid. You'll see them and be, oh, okay. But if you do the Lady Grey Task Force, this is how you spark the raid in the first place. If you do the Lady Grey Task Force, which is set in the Rikti War Zone, you finish all the stuff in the task force. When it's finally over, then the raid shows up. It gets announced. While you're fighting the Lady Grey Task Force, you will see floating mecha suits like we're talking about. Now they'll be named ones, so they're boss fights, so to speak. One will be War, then there'll be Pestilence, and you get the idea. It's the 4 Horsemen of Apocalypse is the idea. You kick those guys out. When you see those in there, they're really tough. And you see them out in the real world out here, they're nowhere near as bad. They suck, but it's, you know, with a team that you're going to have, you'll just mow right through them. But it's the same looking design for the suit, so it's pretty darn obvious. Again, all you need is those 3 achievements, and then you're done. And that gives you the accolade. It gives you the Elusive Mind Accolade. What the Elusive Mind Accolade does is this little over here. This is a clickable. It is only a minute long, and it takes 25 minutes to recharge. I think global recharge does bring that down. Point is, though, you get a okay side resistance for 1 minute, 7.5%. The good news is, though, you get 25% buff to your side defense for 1 minute. And while that's not amazeballs by any stretch of the imagination, if you already have some side defense on your toon, this can put you up and over the cap pretty darn easy, because that's a pretty big jump. Now this toon needs it, and one of the reasons it needs it is because of missions like the one I have right now. I'm in Peregrine Island. I have defeat all carnies in the office, and I'm on +4 × 5. It's about as high as I can do it with this character, using the Bane side of my build, which is the best DPS I have, and most resistant one I have. And these little goobers are pretty tough, but I want to show you some hit chances for some of their attacks. With me being more than soft cap for all my melee, AoE, and range defenses, you would assume that I am fine and basically an untouchable son of a bitch when it comes to most of their attacks. They should be missing, if they're white conning to me, which they are clearly not, they should miss like 95% of the time. So when you see their hit chances, you should see, had a 5% chance to hit, have a 5% chance to hit. That's the goal. That's as low as you can take it. So we'll see that here in a moment. But there's one or two of these characters in here that attack me with an attack that hits me more often than it should, and I'm wondering why. I'm fairly certain I know why. It's a ranged attack, I believe. Either that or it's AoE. It's definitely at distance. It's called blind, and that thing hits me, and I get locked up with it with a hold. And they hit me so often that this seems unrealistic that they would land 3 holds, because that's what it takes to hold this character. So why was it happening? Well, I look at the hit chances and I'll see that instead of a 5 or 7 or 8 even percent chance to hit me, it was like 66% chance, which seems odd because, again, I have such high AoE and range defenses. So then I thought to myself, I wonder if it's because it's really going for psi. And at the time, my psi defenses were like right around 20%. So I'm even a little higher than I should be right now, which is kind of nice. I click that Elusive Mind, and that'll jump it through the roof, and I shouldn't have to worry about that attack. I'm not going to use it for that. I want to show you that it's something that literally is of concern. This is weird because this is an attack then that literally does not subscribe to being one of the positionals. It's not considered melee, it's not considered AoE, it's not considered range, even though it's clearly one of these last two. It is considered psi. So if you have no psi defense in your build, but you have great melee, AoE, or range defense, I'm looking at you shield wielders, then you're probably going to get hit with psi quite often, and it's going to piss you off, and you're going to wonder why. Here's why, and here's a way around it, at least for a minute. So here's our guy. I'm going to run in here, going to open up on these jackasses just to piss them off. I do pretty good on this one at +4 × 4, which means they're at level 54, because I'm level 50 character as far as the game is concerned. Well, I'm technically 51, thank you, alpha slot. So technically speaking, they're conning 3 higher than me. I could get rid of the alpha slot and be like it should be, which means 4 higher than me, but I don't care. And I'd rather be uber than not. So it's as high as I can set it. It's a +4. Now I'm not doing the ×8. The times is referring to how many characters it thinks is on the team. So if it's ×1 is the minimum, then you're basically running solo. If you do it ×4, then it assumes that you have 3 teammates on your team, or clearly, again, still running solo, so it makes more mods for you to fight. Now, a lot of people like to push their luck and prove that they have a badass soloing build by doing +4 ×8 and wiping the map with, the bad guys. This character cannot do that. Even when I'm done with his build, which is not quite finished yet, I still don't think I'm going to be doing +4 ×8, at least not on these guys, because, again, they do hit so hard. I do have a lot of cool tricks. I do have a lot of nice moves that help me out, and with alpha slot and everything else, getting to the tier 4s, he's going to be more badass than I even believed, but he's still not going to be as survivable as I would like. He would be great against characters that do smashing or lethal damage only. If that's the case, then he's a beast, and he's super good at it. That don't mean they still can't hand me my ass. There's plenty of characters out there that do really good smashing lethal damage, and then they have tricks of their own. For instance, they have the ability to lower defenses. And while I have more than enough defenses to counter 1 attack, maybe even 2 attacks, they hit me with 3 of them, then my defenses start doing what's that cascade issue that we were having before. And that cascade screws me completely, and as a result, my 50s and 45% greater defenses start going into the 30s, and then rapidly into the 20s, and then before you know it, I have a negative number. I want to hurt her, but I don't want to kill her. Take that down. Let's see if we can follow the hit chances for her chance to blind. Psychic Visage, change your ring toss. Blind power, 33% chance. See what I'm saying? There we go again. She tried it again. 33% chance. There is no way that's not a range or an AoE defense attack, and I have uber defenses from that. What does that mean? A1, she's 54, so she's much higher, so of course she has a better chance to hit. She is a lieutenant, So even a boss would be even worse. And so that's another thing. And then, of course, my side defenses aren't as good as I need them to be. So if I really wanted to prove to you that I could take a beating, even if it's only for a minute, I want to round up one more of these guys so that I have multiple attacking me with that. Yeah, see, had a 95% chance to hit. See what I'm saying? That's something weird going on. So there is the possibility that that she can buff herself up in some way or debuff me in some way. And you throw in someone like the boss, the master illusionist, and where she can summon multiple illusionists like her, and suddenly I'm held. And again, this character can take 2 hits from those stun effects, 2 hits from holds, 2 hits from immobilize, and what have you, and still be unaffected. So the fact that I was held while doing this mission, I was like, what the hell? I shouldn't be getting hit. You know, maybe this is a bad string of luck. That happens. But it didn't make a whole lot of sense. And it's because of this stuff. So literally, she was wailing on me. She had a really good chance to hit me because my side was even lower than it was now for defense. And then before you know it, boom, I was being held. And I had no idea what was going on. So you can see the regular attacks, the spectral wounds stuff that they're throwing is typical. But there's a blind at 37%. A 95% chance to hit me with that one. You know, so clearly they're going to land quite a few of them. And before you know it, they'll stack up to a point where it exceeds my ability to resist it. And then, I guess resist, protect, that would probably be the better way of saying it. To protect from it. And therefore, I'll actually be immobilized or held. And you also see them doing pretty decent damage with those attacks. So again, if I want to prevent some of those problems, here, let's pop this one and see how the numbers shrink. 8.23, blind 10.14, and I got a 56% defense. So for that 1 minute, I'm going to be back up to where I expect my character to be, to the badass that can basically, quote unquote, tank anything, so long as it doesn't sneak through too many attacks. I'm basically a defense-based character at this point. I do have some resistance to psi. That's not to say that I'm going to be able to resist every attack that does sneak through. But this character is built more around smashing lethal. What's like with that resistance though? Smashing lethal at 45. Psi is going to be, with this little buff on me, 25%, nearly 26. And that's the only reason it's as good as it is because of that clicking. When that wears off, and it's already starting to, I go back to sucking wind. So, you know, it's a good buff to have. I don't know you can use it when you are Nez. I should actually check that out. I don't think so. And I do believe that there is a accolade. We have yet to see it. But I do believe there's an accolade I can show you in another video that has the ability to break you out of Nezes. If I find that one, I'll do a video on that, and of course I'll let you know about it. But basically, I just wanted to show you that I got it. So again, bragging a little bit here. But I will show you the official video, and again, you'll know it because it'll be the Lady Grey Task Force and the Elusive Mind Accolade. So I'll walk you through how to get it. It'll be another character, and he won't get it more likely than not. He'll come close, you know, I'll do the mission, we'll beat the mission, and then we'll show you the raid and all the stuff you're going to need to do in the raid. I probably won't get every badge. But with that, my name is Brothermutant. Please like, subscribe, comment down below. Tell me what you guys think. I'll see you guys soon. Bye now.